So all of you guys have been sponsored by your respective COs and such to begin taking the next steps into becoming a member of the leadership within the regiment. So obviously for you guys that's very exciting, and for the wider regiment, assuming you pass, that would hopefully be a very good positive for us all. I think it's only sensible that we sort of start by getting an understanding of what an NCO is. So to begin, I'd like to ask all of you, go down the line from left to right, my left to right, sorry, starting with Rex. If you can just let us know what you think an NCO is. Lofty here will be wielding a hellgun for the purposes of this exercise.
Yep, so Rex, can you tell me what an NCO is?
By definition, non-commissioned officer by
Thank you.
practicality.
Okay, so this has been a universal constant. I was purposefully vague in my request. Everyone should know what an NCO stands for. That's totally fine. But that's not actually conducive to knowing what an NCO does, or the role of an NCO, the purpose of an NCO. So as soon as Rex is back, ta-da! Welcome back, Rex.
Okay.
That's totally fine. That's
Rex,
standard.
Can you tell me why I shot you?
Because I threw down the definition of the actual abbreviation.
Yeah, we don't
Precisely.
want
And that's fine.
The dictionary definition here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what I'm wanting to know from you guys is what your understanding is of the role of an NCO, what they do in combat, out of combat, whatever you want to let us know. You can break it down for us, and as long as you're right, we're all happy. If you're wrong, don't worry, we won't kill you anymore. It's just a bit of a tradition at this rate that anyone who just gives us the what the abbreviation stands for gets met with a swift end. So now we can get back to the good stuff. So Rex, other than telling us what NCO stands for, what to you is an NCO?
The person who ends up spreading the orders to the actual guardsmen and squad leaders. That way the company command can actually focus on everything else.
That's not too bad. I would say to that is that the NCO is the squad leader, or spreads the squad leader's command. Receives from up on high and spreads it down below. Yeah, that's fairly accurate. Deceptive, what do you think?
I believe he is the guys in charge of keeping us into effective fighting force in and out of combat, whether that be training or directing us where we're needed in combat.
That's pretty accurate as well, I think, for the most part. Yeah, it's quite good. Dragon, anything else?
The guy who is more or less in charge of just hurting the lower enlistment.
That's pretty accurate too. I think you guys are pretty much getting there. Spat?
I'd say while on base, making sure everything's correct and standard, make sure you have the right uniform, right equipment, and on the battlefield, relaying the commands of the higher powers and making sure everything is going. My personal opinion.
Yep, pretty much hammer on nail there. I can't read your name because of the colour. Stomach?
Milk.
To me, it seems like the NCOs are sort of the foremen. So the higher ups are like architects and engineers. They have big grand designs, and the NCOs are there to figure out the actual nitty gritty on the ground implementation, how to make those designs come true.
I am a big fan of that analogy. Sounds fantastic. Quite pleased with that one, yeah. Corvus?
And which one do you want? Give me a sec, I'm going to talk to you. You can pass this on.
No problem. I'm back to you. Kimpachi?
Oh shit, I was muted. An NCO is basically make sure like the lower ranks don't do anything stupid on base or on the field. Make sure he keeps them in line no matter what. and gains the respect as well.
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of it. 100%. Michael?
The NCOs are the one responsible to ensuring the orders from the higher ups are operated by the enlisted.
That was a lovely definition. That's accurate. Correct. Right, verbal.
Someone who accepts and takes on the responsibility varying from squad level to company level.
I think in the case of at least our regiment, it's definitely a squad and company level, that's for sure. I think for the most part, I'm pleased. I think between all of you, you've pretty much hit it across the board. Who's not said? Is it Corvus?
Okay, I'm back. I'm good. Yeah.
Welcome back.
So yeah, the NCO is pretty much the buffer for the guardsmen, so that the higher up don't deal with their shenanigans as much as they possibly could, and also password. I don't want to say it all because of server could. Everyone.
Right, apart from you breaking up ever so slightly there, I think you've...
Oh, I don't want to say as much because of being in service, but like everyone else said it pretty much.
No, totally fair. Fair enough. Yeah, I think, as I say, most of you guys seem to have the basics down. I think for us and the regiment as a whole, there's definitely some more expectations from NCOs these days. I think the past few months, I wouldn't say the NCOs have been let off lightly, but I do think there's a bit more responsibility leveled on your potential shoulders in your guys' case for what you may be doing for the regiment, for your companies, squad level and stuff. Obviously, some of these things are slightly different depending on what company you're in. But yeah, I think for the most part, all of you together have pretty much hit the nail on the head. I think for us and for the regiment, the sort of expectations for an NCO... on the radio, that's an awful mistake. There we go. Yeah, so the sort of expectations we're thinking of is, being reliable under pressure, being able to calmly and clearly and decisively pass on orders from the seniors to the enlisted. That's a key fundamental role of the NCO, both in combat and out of combat. In some of our musters, you may find out some details that the regimental headquarters want to pass on, and these sorts of things will end up getting passed all the way to the company leadership, down to the NCOs, and sort of disseminated that way. Sort of accountability. A classic maxim sort of these days especially is, your rank is not a reward. If you earn the position of an NCO, congratulations, but rank is ultimately a responsibility in this case. You'll be asked to do more than the guardsmen will be asked to do. You'll be asked to play a slightly different role. If that's not something you're interested in, that's totally fine. Feel free to bow out if the sort of things we're discussing aren't of interest to you guys. But for the most part, yeah, you guys will be squad leaders, helping in trainings, in some cases leading trainings. You'll be passing on information, and you'll be assisting to make enforcing server and Milsim rules and such. So if those are all things you guys are all happy with, we can certainly continue. I'm going to get out my next little document now.
Apparently only one person's happy with that.
Well,
I'm happy with
he
that.
can stay.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I'm happy with that.
Very happy.
I figured bow out would have been the sign that we weren't.
This is very
It's
true.
okay.
Not moving per road.
Yeah, very
If-
much
if a
appreciate
question's
a
asked-
response. Yeah.
Yeah, if the question's asked,
it
we
also
can't
means you
see
heard me.
us. So yeah, just respond, because obviously we don't know if you're lagging out or something. Yeah.
My bad, I'm
make-
reading.
I copy that. I will make a point in some of the things we teach you today. We would hope that you guys take the effort to note down, unless you already somehow know it perfectly, then that's fantastic for you. But some of the things we teach you will expect you to note down. It may be very useful in day 2. I'll just give you guys that heads up just now. I won't be telling you again to start noting things down, so hopefully you take the hint. Alright, next we will move on to. Once together that.
Eight-figure in it?
Precisely, yeah. We'll go with 8-figure. So,
Board.
do any of you guys know how to complete an 8-figure grid reference?
So?
Spank,
Yeah.
you do, that's nice. If you don't, say so now. To clarify, you're not expected to know this just now. We will happily teach you.
I know what it is, how to actually derive it from the 3 that we get on map. I do not know.
That's okay, that's fine. Is anyone else unfamiliar or is not confident that they could just do it if asked?
I don't know nothing about this 8-digit thing.
It's all good, no problem. Dragon, are you asking a question or are you unfamiliar, sorry?
It's not too late, is it? There's one more.
I can run over the initial bit with him in a minute, that's fine. I think what we'll do is I'll run through the initial bit I just done with everyone else while you go through examples with 8-figure and test them all out.
Yeah, okay, sorry, so who said they don't know 8-figure? Rex, you were one of them. So,
Yeah, I know what it is, just not how to derive it from the 6-figure that you can get on map.
Yeah, okay, so, obviously, so obviously when you zoom in, you've got your 6-figure. That is a 100 by 100 meter reference, which goes from left to right, bottom to top. You can see that on your map. If you go left to right, the numbers on the left-hand side change, and then bottom to top, the right-hand numbers start changing. Got that?
Yep, makes sense.
Okay, so when we zoom in, when we want an 8-figure, we want a 10 meter by 10 meter reference. So, obviously, you've got your little squares on your map. The 6-figure is just one of those squares. Once again, it's 100 by 100 meter. Now, to get the 8-figure, what you have to imagine is there's another 100 squares within that box that is divided again. Obviously, we don't get that, but you just have to imagine it being there. So, for example, the middle point of that box would be obviously the 6-figure. So let's say I'm just going to use the one that I'm on now. So that's 0545 break 0555. So that's the middle point of the box. Okay. Now, if you really want to know a good way to divide these boxes without having the actual numbers along that, if you zoom right in to one of those boxes, and you'll see along the bottom left-hand side of your screen, there's a little black and white line.
Oh my fucking god! I never noticed that before.
Yeah, so that takes you to the 5 of obviously the middle point of the box. So on the first Nortings, I think it's Norting and Eastings, the first one, that will take you to the 5. Obviously, so that just gives you a reference of where those numbers would be on that line. Do you get it?
Yeah, 100%. That makes life so much easier seeing that black and white bar.
Yeah, so you just have an idea of where the spacing is. Now, when it comes to giving out an 8-figure, if you're off by 10 meters, I'm not really asked. It's 10 meters. If someone can't find something within like a 10, 20 meter radius, that's on them. It's the same with these 8-figures are mainly for pointing out a certain place where you want your men to go, or when you're calling in artillery, things like that. So, do you feel a bit more confident now?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, let's give it a whirl here. Let's find a point.
Can I say something?
Yes.
You can also use the protractor tool on the map.
You can, but please don't, because you can get an idea of where those numbers would be, but in the middle of a firefight, if you're pulling out the protractor to get those numbers, you're going to be taking way too long, and your men will be dying. So if the quicker you can do this, the better. Now, okay, Rex, is everyone else getting this? Have you all been following along on the map?
Yes, sir. I understand.
Okay, that's fine. Now, Rex, on grid reference 049er, break 087, there's the red marker of the old castle. Have you got that?
Good copy.
Can you give me the 8 figure of that, please?
The one at 050087, that square?
049er, break 087.
Good copy. Zero 498 break 0873.
Yeah, spot on. Okay. Does everyone understand how he's done that?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Perfect, okay. Deceptive?
Yes.
Okay, right, near that old castle marker, there's a white X labelled Bastion that Christian's put down. Can you give me the 8 figure of that?
Yeah. Just to the east of it. I'm guessing not. Okay. Let's see. Apologies, I gotta.
Take your time, it's okay. My advice as well is when you're doing this, make sure you zoom right in. Because the further out you are, the further over things will seem.
Alright. So that'll be 0534 break 0889.
Niner. So, yeah. So we always say niner and not 9, because we use NATO standard. We are an international unit. Obviously, we have Germans in the unit. You start telling them 9. They're just going to be asking you why you're saying no. Right.
Gotcha.
So, however, yeah, spot on. That was fine. I'd maybe say that might be a bit closer to the 5 than the 4, but once again, if you're off by 10 meters, I'm not bothered. Everyone knows where you're going to be going. Okay. Yep.
Well, on, boys.
Right, okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Even you can see it on the map. You're right. You can see. I've never noticed that. I see. Yeah. Yeah, copy. Well, the best way to do it is you can just see the bottom of the map. You can see the bottom left corners. Yeah, that's sound. Okay.
Legend.
Right. Did any of you hear Cassian's conversation with that?
No.
Negative. I was on 5. I want to clarify. I can clarify it quick. So on the map, guys, if everyone gets the map up, You can zoom in enough where you can see the 10 by 10 squares, the big fat 10 by 10 squares. At the moment, we are sort of at the top of one of them, slightly to the left. If you guys can zoom in on the sort of larger square, which should be 1 by 1 kilometer in this case, you'll see that obviously you can see the 10 by 10 squares within it. And based on where we are, we're in what would be, well, you can just highlight us. We're obviously 043 break 099er. Well, I am. You guys might actually be the one below that. But the Mechanicus logo, which in this case is Lofty, yeah, so 043 break 099er. You copy the same principle of a 10 by 10 on the individual squares when you zoom all the way in. As you can see when you're moving your cursor around, the left edge is 0 on the vertical, on the second set of numbers. And the right edge, sorry, the bottom edge is 0 as well, on the horizontal.
Well,
so,
another thing as well, if you zoom out, you've got the numbers along the top and side of your map. So you can see that the bottom square on the full map is a 0. Yeah. So you can see the numbers there. So we always start at 0.
Exactly. So the bottom left square you're imagining when you zoom in for a 10 by 10 meter, the eighth figure grid, you're imagining that same 10 by 10 grid again, with the left edge being 0 and the bottom edge being 0, and you work your way like that. So if anything's on the right edge of one of those small squares, that's a 9er. Anything on the top edge, that's a 9er, and vice versa. So hopefully you guys get that at least. Go ahead, Deceptive.
Yeah, so if it's in the top right, that'll be 9er, 9er. And if it's in top left, be 0, 9er. Like,
yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, right, so you seem to have, it was you that I was getting to next, wasn't it? Yes, it was Deceptive. Right, no, sorry, it was Dragon Class. Sorry, I've already done you, Deceptive. Dragon Class? You there?
Oh, shit, sorry, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so, underneath us, to the south, John Wick has put down a circle marker on the map. Grid reference, well, I don't know if you give the grid, you're going to be giving me that. Do you see it?
Yep.
Okay, can you give me the 8 figure of that, please?
Quick question. Do you start with the top right first, like for like the 047, you go to the 046?
So you start, you go along the left to right, and then bottom to top, but in the door up the stairs.
And then when you're adding like the middle grid, do you just
tack it on to the end?
Yeah, so you tack it on to the end of each one. So the left to right is the 046, and the bottom to top is a 090. Sorry, 090. So those two numbers where you're going to be adding the other ones for your 8 figure. Does that make sense?
So yeah, the 8 figure is the first. So you go 046 break 090. Obviously, for the 8 figure, you need to be giving us the 4th digit at the end of each of those numbers.
Alright, so 046 090 tech.
Negative. No. So we'll start again. I'll just explain it really briefly for you. So the first, from left to right, you start in the bottom left of every square. Yep. So in this, 046 is the big square. You zoom in. Imagine another 10 by 10, and the digit after 046 is how far from left to right that marker is inside the box. So you imagine it starts at 0 on the left and ends at 9er on the right edge of the box. You need to sort of imagine where that marker is within those numbers. and then you do the same again from bottom to top, bottom starting at 0, top ending at 9.
So each one of those 3 digits then becomes 4. It's an 8, so it's 8 altogether. So it's the first 3 left to right, then becomes 4 numbers left to right, and the second 3 becomes 4 bottom to top.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm having a hard time kind of visualizing.
So I can do one for you. Go ahead. Sorry.
I have a picture from the last NCO that had like the thing on it that Irish had. Isn't that?
The only issue is what he shared is technically slightly inaccurate. I know exactly the picture you're mentioning, but what I'll do for you, Dragon, and I guess everyone else can just focus up, is I'll just give you one. So, for example, to the immediate 100 by 100 meters square to our right, or for my right, there's a symbol to the northeast of the name of this town. I was going to say it, maybe should not. Podjaskorkia there's a town name to our right, Podjaskorkia. There's a symbol up and to the right of that. Is everyone familiar with that symbol? Precisely.
The symbol
where
for
Rex
bunker.
is pinging. Yeah, so if we zoom in all the way so that that square takes up basically your whole screen, that little bunker's ever so slightly up and to the right of the center. So I would say...
where is this town at?
It's immediately, if you zoom all the way in, it's immediately to the right of where we're stood right now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So Rex has put a little marker on it. Feel free to do that again, Rex, just so we can see it. Yeah. So do you see where everyone's pinging just there?
Yeah.
Excellent. So that marker, I would say, is 0, 4, 4, 6. The 6 comes from left to right in that box. It's roughly, if you break it down into 10, it's roughly where the 6 would be. From left to right. Do you see what I mean?
Oh yeah, and so like would the middle of the box be like 5 then?
Yeah, so the dead center of the box would be 5. 5 across and then 5 up.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so it's up and to the right slightly. So you would say 0, 4, 4, 6, break 0, 9, 9, 6 again. I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a 10 by 10 meter. If you're calling that in, everyone should be able to know what you mean, even if you're 10 meters out. Unless you're having to confirm with a very low yield mortar team, a 10 meter difference isn't going to get you killed. You'll be fine. But yeah, so hopefully you get what I mean by the 4th digit at the end of each of those existing 3.
Yeah. So the
So then,
I
think John was... Yes, there it is.
He's removed it.
No, it's further down. Sorry, no, it's fine. It's still there. And make sure you zoom in all the way, because the marker does change location based on how zoomed in. Yeah, it's straight
maximum. Oh, wait, we've all spawned in again, they just weren't there. Okay.
Yeah.
0, 4, 6, 4, or 0, 9, 0. Niner, TAC 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, look, you've got the numbers correct. I would say that's good. Just you say the first 4 digits, then you say break, so that then they know they need to start looking up and down rather than left and right. And then when you finish giving it, you don't need to say anything. You don't need to say break again. You don't need to clarify anything. You don't need to say tack anything at all. That's not necessary. It would just be 0, 4, 6, 4, break, 0, 9, 0, 9. That's close enough.
So basically the break is letting them know how many, what grid figures you're giving them. Because if you just blurt out some numbers without the break and the line cuts and they only hear 6 numbers, you've only given them a 6 figure. So the break lets them know, right, we're now, that's how many numbers they're getting. Because people could even go even more crazy and give 9 figures, which I think is it, or 10 figure?
10 figure,
yeah, which is a meter by a meter, but we're absolutely never going to do that because that's just stupid. But this game, anyways, purpose-wise, it's just no point. Right. Okay, but yeah, Dragon, well done. Spac dude.
Yes.
Okay, to the direct north of our position, you've got the marker for the lighthouse.
Let's see.
You got it?
By Bush.
Yeah,
where
where we are at the moment. Yep, thank you, whoever just pinged that. So we've got the marker for the lighthouse just north of us. Do you see that?
I believe so. Is it fine if I mark it real quick? Make sure I'm on the right one.
So someone's pinging it there. Yeah, that yellow.
Okay, then I don't see it. Hold on.
It's on our position.
I see it now. I see it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You got it? Yep. So can you give me the figure of that, please?
It'd be 0, 4, 3, 7, break, 0, 9er, 9er,
1, 2,
4.
3, 4.
Yep, that's
5,
fine.
6, 7.
Yeah, close enough.
Close enough. Scum milk.
Yep.
Give me a second here. I need to find a new. Right. So to the very north of the island, on the very northern point, you've got a petrol station marker.
Yep.
Yep. Can you give me the figure of that, please?
0461 break 109er 8.
Yeah, that sound. I would probably say the second one may be more of a 2 than a 1, but yeah, you're still within the right area, and you know what you're given there.
Alright, fair enough. Thank you.
Okay. Corax?
Yeah.
Okay, to the right of that petrol station, if you've been following on the map here, as I hope all of you have, because it should be getting easier and easier as everyone's giving them. To the right of that, you've got another bunker marker.
Yep.
Yep, can you give me the 8 figure of that, please?
0475 break 0109er 4.
Yep. Fine. Right, I'm running out of places here. Give me a second.
Another one to the north.
Compachi, the very northern point, we've got a lighthouse.
Okay. Lighthouse, top of... Okay. Hold on, let me...
Under Portage, I can't even... I'm not even going to pronounce the names of this place,
Yeah.
because I'm fucking going to butcher
So
them.
it's 0462. What was it? Break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1108. If I got that right.
That's close enough, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it potentially
I
closer
would
to the
have called
7,
it a 7, but yeah. But again,
I don't have my
everyone will know
glasses,
exactly what you
so
mean.
it's correct. So I can't see shit right now. So everything's blur.
No, you were close enough. That's absolutely fine. If you're calling out Ian in that position, that 10 meters is going to save the enemy. And if you're sending anyone there to look for that lighthouse, that 10 meters once again, if they're not seeing it, you know, really their own issue.
Okay.
Okay. Who have I got next?
Michael.
Michael, yep, spot on.
Probably
right,
later
so to
when
the
your parents
left-hand
show up,
side of that
so
lighthouse,
you
you've got
can
another
come
bunker
over,
marker.
and we can hang out for a bit.
0454 break 1100.
Yep, spot on. Okay, and last one, verbal.
That was a very good one, Michael, because you remembered it starts with a 0
Yeah,
rather than a 1.
That's
Spot
why
on.
I put that there. Sorry, not I put that
Excellent.
there. That's why I asked for that one. Okay, Michael, on our position, back to where we are on the lighthouse.
Verbal, but that's fine.
Oh, sorry, verbal. So, you've got the town of Korkiala to the west. Do you see that?
Yep, got it.
Okay, the southernmost building, so just underneath where that is, can you give me the 8-figure of that? If you, when it comes to buildings, I'd always say just put your marker right in the middle of the building. I'll give you the 8-figure of the middle.
0416 break 0982.
Okay, however, once again, we say 9er, not 9.
Oh, my mistake.
No, that's fine.
That's all right.
Sorry, semi-related question. I've only just noticed, underneath the grid references on our cursor, the, like, 40
There's a
meters,
black and white line.
height elevation.
Yeah, the 40 meters, yeah, that's sea level elevation. So that's a really useful tool as well. That's a really useful tool as well if you're getting sent somewhere to look for like an optimal point to, like, say like you're getting above a position, getting into an ambush position, want a good place to put your men, they've got a better view. That's a really good tool to have because it lets you know how high everything is. But yeah, that's fine. The 8 figures will all sound there. Like I say, it's a practice skill, so the more you use it, the quicker it'll get, and the more better.
Feel free to ask again if you're confused, you forget anything about 8-figure. Obviously, everyone here's an open book. I'm sure these guys know their 8-figure's fine. Just feel free to ask if you think you've forgotten. It is something you will be using, so I strongly suggest that you get some nice practice in. NCO Day 2. You'll be quizzed on it, and there will be an expectation that you can do it. You know, if you're completely incapable at the time. Oh, go on.
Sorry, Joven. I gotta go help someone else. I think it might take me a bit.
Copy. How long will you be?
Who knows? It's moving wood.
Fair enough. If you're a while, what we can do is next day 1, if you're available, we can just slot you back in at the same spot.
I work a lot. That's why it's like forever to get there.
Speak for a second, Lofty.
No, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. So what we will be doing is a bunch more day 1s and 2s over the next sort of week or two, and we'll be training current NCOs to learn how to do exactly what Lofty and I are doing just now. So they will become more available across all the time zones. So hopefully, we can get one that's either very late for Europeans or very early for us that suits yourself.
Hang around,
But yeah,
I'll just be here
step out
in the corner.
That's fine. Right.
I would say if he could, I don't know if he's got the ability, if he could stay and like do a screen recording, and then he'd at least have like.
He could, but I don't. Yeah, well, that's fair enough. But I don't know whether or not he'll have heard it, whether or not he records it. So, fair point. But I think we'll just pass him as missing whatever comes up next, which is fair. So yeah, 8-figure grids. I think everyone got there in the end. Some minor confusion, but I mean that's classic. That's to be expected. But at the end of the day, you will manage to accurately give an 8-figure. That would save plenty of lives, were it to be. Mm-hmm.
However, so this isn't a test. This day 1 is not a test. It would be mental for us to test you on the first day. Someone has failed this twice.
No, it's not.
There's only one person who's ever failed this. Oh, sorry, I'm on fucking 5. sorry, Verbal. I'm on 5 meters. Okay, so what I'm saying there is this isn't a test. However, just to let you know, someone has failed this twice. The same person has failed this twice, and it's phenomenal because I don't know how you can fail this because it's not a test. We're teaching you, but he did fail twice.
What a legend!
Yeah,
that's one word for it.
Yeah, Irish spent 3 hours going over this with him. It took him 3 hours to do this. It should be about an hour, 40 minutes, give or take, and. The next day he did Stubber, and Stubber said, uses some of the stuff that we teach here, and he couldn't tell Irish a single thing that he learned. So he failed, and then he came back, and it was a class that I was in, one that I was teaching, and he kept fidgeting and walking around and making his character do emotes and stuff. And I was like, "Are you okay, mate? Like, can you just like stand still? Is anything bothering you?" And he looked at me and just went, "Oh, I'm bored." So he was very quickly removed, because when I pointed out that he'd already failed it, he turned around and said that he'd never done it before.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah. There's some crazy stuff happens on these day ones. I don't know how it manages to happen, but there's some crazy stuff that happens on these day ones. Sorry, Cass.
That's all good. Yeah, that's a very fair point. I mean, at the moment, we're just telling you guys some information. How someone fails to receive information is beyond me. Thankfully, I did not have to be subject to that individual's... there's no word I can use that was not against terms of service. So, yeah, anyway. We'll move on to... We've got a number of lovely acronyms for you boys. I'm sure you're really excited. Some of you may have heard some of these. Some of you may have heard all of them. But we'll start out with the lovely classic, CLEAR. You guys will be heavily involved on the Vox in the future, both communicating to your individual squads, as well as communicating back to your relevant officers and COs and such. So we'll hit you out with the lovely acronym CLEAR. Gara doesn't like this acronym, because this acronym contains the word in the acronym, which is obviously a bit of a pet peeve for him. Anyway, we'll
Excuse me, Captain.
CLEAR.
Can I be AFK for a quick second?
No problem. No problem.
All right.
As long as it's not too long. So can anyone tell me what the first letter stands for in the acronym CLEAR?
Clear.
It is clear. It is clear. Obviously, some people find that slightly annoying, which is completely fair and reasonable. However, clear. Basically, in Vox communications, we want you guys to be using simple words, correct sentence structure, do not ramble, and do not add filler words. You need to be sure that what you're going to say is what you intend to say. The Vox is cluttered as it is. Anyone who has had the pleasure of sitting on 50 for any amount of time knows the Vox can be very hectic, and any failure to follow the basic principles of clear really fucks with a lot of things and can really cause an op to fall apart, or at least grind to a halt. So yeah. Number one, make sure you know what you're going to say. No rambling, no filler. We don't want you to come out here, start giving an order or stating a fact and filling it with ums and ahs and being uncertain of what you want to say. As I explain this to you, I may use filler words myself, but luckily I'm not having to say this over 50 for the entire regimental command. Anyway, so the second letter in clear is loud. The purpose of loud is to make sure you're projecting your voice. You want your voice to be heard above the commotion of what's happening in the battlefield, above anyone else's inane conversations that aren't relevant and pertinent to the situation at hand. So yeah, loud is important. Loud doesn't mean screaming. Loud just means you project your voice to make sure everybody can hear you clearly. Does everyone get that?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. You don't need to call me sir, I'm not bothered about that, but I appreciate it nonetheless. The next letter, E, stands for effective. You need to make sure that the message you are giving is effective. The whole purpose of your message needs to be achievable, and it needs to be received the way you want it to be. So you need to know, the receiver, needs to know exactly what you want them to do. So you need to ensure that you're not adding nonsense to your message, adding things that aren't directly relevant to the orders, commands, or confirmations you're providing. So yeah, effective. Fairly simple. I hope you all understand that. 2 more letters to go for clear. So the next one's accurate. So making sure the facts you're giving are accurate. They need to be correct. If an order you're giving is not correct, you're going to get yourself and your brothers killed. Make sure your grids, as I say, 8-figure grids are something you'll be giving a lot. Make sure you've practiced them. Make sure you can confidently get them right in a reasonable amount of time. And if you're uncertain on the grid, I strongly suggest you just take a second and double check to make sure that the information you're giving is correct. You don't want to be asking for someone to bomb a hostile building. You give the wrong grid, suddenly you've blown up the Lord Commissar. People will be unpleased. So, yeah, make sure everything you're saying over Vox is accurate. Finally, we hit with relevant. Sort of falls into effective and accurate. Just make sure that what you're saying needs to be said, it's relevant to the situation, and so it cut out anything that isn't relevant to the situation, basically. You want to make sure that what the information you are giving is pertinent. You don't want to be sat there telling someone something that is actually entirely unproductive to the situation. You're just wasting comms, you're wasting brain power, you're wasting time. All these things are important to make sure an op runs smoothly and that your brothers don't end up dying in a fire explosion or anywhere else. So that's clear for you. Now, I don't know whether anyone chose to write that down or not.
I did.
But I'm gonna... Excellent. I'm gonna ask a couple of you guys a letter, and I would hope you can return that letter to me accurately. And I'm also going to be a cunt, because I'm not going to ask anyone what C stood for, because that one's a bit easy. So I'll start with verbally there.
Yes.
Can you tell me what the L in clear stands for?
Loud.
Excellent. Michael, are you there?
Yeah.
I'm back.
Can you tell me what loud means in clear?
It means loud enough that everyone can understand you, but not screaming.
That's it to a T, pretty much. Projecting your voice is the key. Apache, do you know what clear stands for? Or what the
No.
intention behind it is? Copy.
No.
What I'll do is, Lofty, are you there?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Can you just step aside with Kimpachi and quickly run him through clear, and then when he gets back in the line, I'll ask him how he's doing.
Yeah, just bear me a second here.
No problem. Right, Scumilk, can you tell me what the E in clear stands for?
Effective.
That is correct.
Apache, over here.
Spac, can you tell me what effective means in clear?
Okay, so you want to be making a note of this. As you've been here and there, they will be getting tested. You will be getting tested on this. So these are just a couple. We're going to be going over a couple of acronyms.
Yes.
Now the first one, and I've always hated this because the first letter in the acronym stands for what the acronym says. So this is clear.
Okay.
So CLEAR. So the first letter is C, and it stands for clear. Okay, so you're keeping the comms clear. You're saying what you need to say without, rambling too much. If you've been on 50, you know how crazy the comms can sometimes get, or even in your own squad comms. So it's clear. The second letter, L, stands for loud.
That are actually relevant. Well.
Okay. So this means that at the moment I'm being loud. You're hearing me, but I'm not shouting. I'm not screaming. So you need to be loud enough to be heard over the sound of battle. Make sure that your orders are getting heard. You're not mumbling into your mic. But obviously, this doesn't also mean you don't have to scream everything.
So I gotta be loud, not like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, loud, not shouting. Anyone who comes on comms just screaming down the mic is going to be hated. But also as well, you do need to make sure that you are heard. So it's making sure that your voice is loud. The second one is effective.
Effective?
Okay. Effective, yes. E for effective.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank everyone.
Yes, this means that the information that you're giving needs to be effective. So, for example, giving out an 8-figure, you need to make sure that it is the correct 8-figure. So if you called out a wrong 8-figure, the next thing you know, you've blown up the Lord Commissar. So it needs to be effective information.
Okay.
Okay. The fourth one is accurate.
Accurate.
So this, yeah. So this means you are giving accurate information. You are not making things up. So, and one that's really common is people will start calling out tanks on the comms when in actual fact they have turned up in a Taurus. You know, so you need to make sure that everything you're saying is accurate. You're not making up information. If you're not sure on something, you just say that you're not sure. They may have a tank in that compound, but we're not sure. We haven't seen it. Okay. And then the final one is R for relevant. So this means that when you are on, when you're on comms, you are giving relevant information. You're not here telling us what you did for dinner. You're not telling us that you're walking through a lovely field. You're giving relevant information to the situation.
Okay.
How you convey.
Okay. Any questions on that?
Sort of order and the whole process of that.
Okay. So let me get this. Okay, C is for clear, L is for loud, E is for effective, A is for accurate or
accurate.
Accurate, and R is for relevant. Sorry, I can't say shit right now correctly. Relevant. Trying to say it, but
the second one is
relevant. There we go.
And that is then when you state what it is you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I am.
So, your next course of action, essentially. Welcome back, Apache. Do you know you're clear?
Yes.
I'll take your word and put lofty taught you appropriately. Excellent, perfect. So now, Apache, we're on SMIAC, which is is the order of sorry, that's not the correct word to use. Is the steps taken for you to convey an order to your squad at the beginning of an operation.
Wait, can you repeat? What was the word again?
SMIAC. So if you check the chat,
I'll type it.
Yeah. So it's not a word itself. This is one of those fun acronyms that just is a jumble of letters, and they've decided that this is the best way to say it. So we'll just be following them as we go. So SMEAC begins with situation, which is what is happening, what is going on at the time. The second letter, M, is mission, which is what you've got to do about it. In the case we'll be telling your squad what it is your squad will be doing as a consequence of the situation. E is execution, which is how you'll be doing it. So the steps taken in order to complete your mission. A is admin/logistics. So it's the administration side of things. So, for example, the kits you'll be taking, the ammo or vehicle or other requirements that you'll need for the purposes of executing the mission as a consequence of the situation. And then the final one is comms and command, which is basically just stating who it is in charge and the comms you'll be using.
Comms.
So, for example, you would tell your squad what frequency you'll be on, and that you, in this hypothetical case, are in charge of the squad.
What was S again?
S is situation, which is basically a breakdown of what's going on, what's happening on the ground.
Situation.
That's it. It's meant to be very vague, because then the rest of them sort of
got a situation
expand on all of them. Yeah.
5 meters gain. The way I describe it is, so the situation is the entire regiment's mission as a whole, and then your mission could be the same. So depending on the size of the op, a public op, a small one, your situation and mission are probably going to be the same. Go and clear this compound, blah blah. For a bigger op, the situation and mission may be different. So for example, we could have one where the situation is we are taking a city, but your mission could be you are taking gun battery